Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Farming Simulator 22. In this episode we're going to move past harvesting as we did and figure out how to cultivate our land or plow it for the next cycle of crops. So let's get into our game here. If you've been following along to this date, in the last episode we rented the harvesting equipment and we harvested our grains and then we sold them for profit at the mill. If you're just joining us, we have started from the beginning and we have purchased farmland 43 and 30, and we are going to continue. As you can see on our filters, we now have a harvested plot of land here. We are going to go ahead and return our equipment so that we are no longer paying for it. This was just leased equipment. If you want to hear more about how we lease the equipment, you can go to our previous episode. But we're just going to return it so we're not wasting money on it. Let's see what items are for sale. This is actually a pretty good deal. But we already have 2 tractors, so we don't need them at the moment. And this is also a pretty good deal, but that's a super big one. But at the moment, what we need is a plow. So we're going to go ahead and get in our tractor here. It's now September, and don't forget we have seasonal planting off. We're going to go ahead and prepare our field for the next harvest. So as you can see, we have all this kind of stubble here, and it's this is not gonna do well when we are trying to plant our new seeds. Our first step in preparing a field for the next planting is to either cultivate it or plow it. In this case, we are going to actually plow it because the type of grain that we harvested leaves a lot behind. It doesn't leave the field in very good shape so that we are able to harvest, so that we are able to plant again. I'm not sure yet which crop we are actually gonna go ahead and plant. Wheels or something else. So let's take a look at our plowing menu. So here we have the plows, and let's just talk through them very, very quickly. For the first one, we have the Salik. This is the PN2-300. This is a very basic plow. It kind of attaches to any kind of small tractor, and it really plows a very narrow, you can see it only says about half of a meter. Max speed is 12, and the rating on this is about 12 horsepower. Our next one is the Pottinger. This is a pretty decent size. This will cover the whole back side of the tractor and will plow an area 1.2 meters wide. Suggested horsepower for this is 85 horsepower. And suggested weight is 845. That's still a little bit too small for what we need for our field. Next we have the Argo. This is the medium size, which is a good size. This also offers you the ability to switch back and forth so that you can adjust the plow from one side or the other, allowing you to make better use of your time. You don't have to turn around as often. This one covers 2.5 meters and has a rating of 160 horsepower. The next level up is the, I don't even know how to say this brand, Land. And this one actually has some configuration options here. You have the standard, which is covers an area of 3.5, which is actually pretty good. This is usually the mid-level one that I go to, kind of the best bang for your buck. The problem that I've found with bigger plows is that when the AI takes over, some of the bigger areas, when the AI has to turn, it gets stuck because the plow is too big. So usually you go with a medium size one unless the field is incredibly ginormous. And this one has a configuration option of a Paco mat here. What the Paco mat does is this actually adds an element of cultivating, so that if you use this, you don't have to go back over the field and cultivate it later. But I usually do not choose that, as that also causes the AI to get stuck. We will be buying this one. However, let's look at the other options. This is just a bigger, giant option. And this is what it is. When you unfold it, it's on both sides. And then you have another Land over here, which is even gianter, covers 6 square meters. And this one tends to get stuck as well. And this one also has 2 Paco mats, so this really does some damage when you have a very big field. It covers 6 meters as well. But let's get back and buy our mid-level plow here. And we're going to just do the standard version. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. It's $23,000. Since we made a profit last month, that's okay. We're still at $186,662. And now let's go hook up our plow. We're going to use our big bad boy so that it doesn't bog down. The medium-sized tractor will also do just fine supporting this plow. One thing that we didn't cover was sometimes when you're using a lighter weight tractor, it's a good idea to go ahead and get a front weight, and I'll show you real quick how you can do that. You go into the weights here, and if you look at the suggested weight that it said, I don't remember what it was, I think it was 900, but I usually go with a little bit heavier, and we'll go with this 1,000-pound front weight here. And we'll just go ahead and lease this, since I don't really, $22 a day, that's fine. And I'll show you what that does. Let's turn on some lights here. I still can't get over how pretty this tractor is. So to attach the weight, it's pretty much like you attach any attachment. You just kind of drive up to it, and I'll ask you to connect it. And that just adds a weight of element to the back, so that when you lower it, higher it, it changes your center of gravity there. So now we're going to go ahead and fold the plow, and let's get back to our building, back to our field, and let's get our plowing done. Now, plowing is the first step. You don't, after every harvest, you don't have to plow. You can also cultivate. And the system will tell you, I'll show you real quick, whether you need to plow or not. As you can see, all these red areas are sections that say it needs to be plowed. Ours says it just needs lime, it does not need plowing. But we know from the fact that it's been harvested that it's not going to be great for planting. And honestly, if we went and we got the lime, which I'll show you in the next episode, because that'll be the next step. If we went and got the lime and we laid that down, then it would tell us the next step was to plow. Do a little jump here. These double tires are really such a tank. Go ahead and line ourselves up. And this is pretty much self-explanatory, just like the harvesting in our other episode. Now from here you have a few options. Let me explain to you what these are. So the first thing you're probably going to wonder is unfolding the plow. That just turns it from one side to the other. That kind of gets it ready to get into position. By pushing B, you can rotate the plow from one side to the other, depending on what side you're starting on. Like I said, that just saves you some turning around time, etc. Then you have change driving direction. That is actually for the tractor itself. If you can see up in the control where it has the little icon of the tractor, by pushing G you can actually select the tool that it's on. And that'll change kind of the options there. But as I showed you before, the left shift and B changes the driving direction. So you could actually plow like this if you wanted to. But we'll do it the traditional way. Back out of first person. Now one thing I do want to show you is the Y. So the Y in this game, the allow to create fields, will give you the option to create a field anywhere. So anywhere you see this grass area over here, you could actually turn into a plot of farmland if you wanted to. Now use this with caution, because like I said in the other videos, if your farmland does not have nice square lines like this, it's a little bit hard for the AI worker to figure out what to do in those cases, and you're probably going to have to end up plowing those sections by yourself. I'll actually show you on the map. If we were to plow this here, the AI would not do good on these rounded corners. You would actually have to reset it several times to get this whole thing plowed, especially in this area here. So what you would do is you'd want to make pretty straight square plots here in order to get this, that's why the self-determined farming plots here have pretty straight lines, because it allows the AI to work a little bit better and not need to be reset manually so much. So we'll go ahead and start our plow. We're going to use the AI, in this case the AI worker, and as you can see, he will follow a nice straight line and get the field plowed. So as he's plowing this field, I'll go back and go over and put that misaligned. But you can go to your thing, and you'll see here that the soil composition is actually going to change here to this dark purple. You can't see it too well yet, but that will indicate that it's plowed. Very cool graphics in this game. Very realistic. I'm gonna let the AI do its thing for a minute. I'm gonna show you how as you can see, he's probably gonna rotate the plow at this moment. That's gonna give you a different direction of the plowing. There he goes, he starts to rotate it. And it kind of gives you, by switching the plow like that, it saves time because it rotates the plow in the direction where it allows you to cover much more of the land territory in one or two swoops. Let's go back to our map. And you can actually see now that this color is changing to the dark purple to indicate that it's plowed. And that is plowing in a nutshell. We are going to go ahead and let the AI work through the night until our next episode. As always, don't forget to like the video and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any things that you're stuck on, ask me in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them for you, including equipment, etc., etc. And I hope you tune in next time for episode 5, where we will be doing the next step in preparing the field, which will be live.